happy to. You know, as a consequence of COVID, I find that I'm enjoying the city parks more than ever. And one of my favorite parks happens to be the Watershed Nature Center. So today I invited representatives from the Watershed to give us an update on their park improvement project, also known as Access Nature, and to discuss how they have transformed their popular Whiskey for the Watershed fundraiser into a hybrid virtual in-person experience. With us today is Sheila Voss, who is the current board president, and she'll be today's presenter. She has a history in nature and horticulture, and most recently worked for the Missouri Botanical Gardens. With her is Megan Rickman. She is currently a consultant for the Watershed, and she played a big role in making Access Nature campaign a reality. So Sheila, with that, I'm going to pass the Zoom baton over to you.
Excellent, wonderful. Thanks so much, and I thank this whole group here for carving out some time. Like Melissa, I'm gonna try my best to keep it short because I know you have a full agenda. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. All right, can you see that okay? All right, okay, so I wanted to take this opportunity to not only update you a little bit about Watershed, but also this exciting project that I know has been taking shape for the past couple years. So I'm really proud and excited to share some updates and some news. Let me see if I can next slide here. All right, so again, there's been some, as Melissa said, there's 2020 has definitely caused all of us to get really creative with what we're doing, but we have some neat things to share with you about what 2020 has looked like and felt like and sounded like at the Watershed, and then be able to update you about Access Nature, and then lastly, share with you some fun news about our now virtual Whiskey for the Watershed program. Okay, so with that, 2020. Goodness, 2020 has been a year, right? It's caused all of us to dig deep and get creative and be real flexible. And you know, for us, the year started off with us needing to basically repurpose all of the educational programming and experiences that we had prepared and were at the ready to deliver in person, and somehow serve that up in a way that was virtual and remote. So that took the shape of an 8-week program called Nature's Not Canceled. And it was made up of weekly themes from wetlands and forests to wildlife that through the magic of technology was able to get people engaged via trivia and Facebook Live in the field guided tours and videos of activities that people could do on the weekend. Nature's Not Canceled engaged more than 10,000 people over the course of 8 weeks. Those are views, those are hits, those are likes, those are selfies taken. So we really are pleased with that. And it demonstrated that the community really responded to something that was positive, since all of us were trying to wrap our heads around what this new COVID life looked for all of us. So Nature's Not Canceled was a great way to kickstart our spring. And then it led to a summer filled with surprises and new community connections. So surprises were the increase, a significant increase in social media check-ins and hits and likes and visits, real in-person visits that the Watershed Nature hosted this year. I think everybody was seeking out ways to get outdoors in a safe, socially distant way, ways to get outdoors that were nearby in their own community. And we're pleased to report that not only did that happen and the Watershed proved to be that go-to destination, but people that had never even been to Watershed before, that didn't even know it was there, visited and shared it with friends and family. So that was not necessarily, it was a pleasant surprise, but also another great gratifying feeling that we are indeed living up to our nickname of the outdoor gem of Edwardsville City Parks Departments. As far as new partnerships, one highlight was that with the Edwardsville Community Symphony. Some of you may have seen that earlier this summer. We did a live Facebook concert with the main section leads, the concert masters from the Edwardsville Community Symphony. This quartet, this talented quartet, did a live concert with an eclectic selection of music right there on the front porch of the watershed during sunset. It was fantastic, and it was another great, gratifying highlight of the year. Our own Edwardsville City Parks Department plugged us a lot, not only for Unplug Illinois Day, but all throughout the year. Our friends at Heartlands Conservancy relaunched their hiking club at the watershed. Our restoration days started kicking off again with smaller numbers. So, and we also had research being done. So this is the picture up in the upper right is a professor at Southern Illinois University whose graduate students were doing a project about change in land cover. So she was flying her drone to get some baseline shots. So 2020 proved out that even in a COVID pandemic year, the watershed is an in-demand place that's full of life and really played an important role in helping people get through this year. So I'm very happy to report all of that. But my main purpose here is to update you about Access Nature, a project that you're very familiar with, a project that was launched in 2017 and has evolved and gained momentum. And there's a ton of behind the scenes work that has gone in to bringing this project to where it is today, which I'm actually really proud and excited to share with this group news that we're ready to break ground. So this is we wanted to, in the spirit of transparency, share with you this successful funding plan that enables us to finish this project here in short order. So we're scheduled to break ground this year in 2020, which you all are among the first official groups to hear that news, with an official ribbon cutting for the public sometime next spring in 2021. But this funding plan is at a glance proves the point of it takes a village, right? So we're very grateful to all of our partnerships and community supporters. You'll see here the line item, but Edwardsville Rotary is right there being so important. You first committed when we launched the project, and then you had indicated when it broke ground that support would be complete. So your support is absolutely critical to enabling this project to come to the finish line. So again, I'm so excited to let you know that this project, after evolving and taking shape over multiple years, will actually come to fruition right here within the next several months into next spring of 2021. Just to reiterate, this project intends to build upon the success that the Watershed Nature Center already has by making it more accessible, more welcoming, more enriching in terms of a place for outdoor environmental education, for outdoor recreation, for restoration, for research, all of those things right here in Edwardsville and right here in our own Watershed Nature Center. So this project, Access Nature, is going to be another fantastic investment that doubles down on the role that Watershed is playing. So, and again, your support has been critical to helping us bring this to fruition and bring it home, if you will. And then lastly, I just wanted to share with you on plans for Whiskey for the Watershed. As many of you know, this was originally scheduled for March of this year. And like everyone, we had to get creative. So we postponed it, and we postponed it to this fall. So just less than a month away here, on October 16th, we're offering a virtual version of Whiskey for the Watershed. I'm pleased to say that all the ticket holders that had bought tickets earlier in the spring are still with us, and we're selling more every day. And we're almost sold out, but we still have a few tickets to sell. But it will basically include, every ticket holder will get an event bag filled with all sorts of things, native plants, a voucher from our partner restaurants, Bella Milano, Cleveland Heath, help me out, Megan.
1818 Chop House and Game.
That's right. A voucher for free cocktails as well as appetizers to all that. Since we can't do that in person like we had planned to in March, they're going to be able to get this voucher. And a big thanks to our partner restaurants who are, as you all know, it's been a hard year for them. And each of them enthusiastically said, of course we'll be part of this. So that's huge in terms of community spirit. As well as the event bags will have native plants and a face mask with our Edwardsville logo and a few other fun nature-inspired items. Those will be delivered to people in person. In the evening, we're going to be offering virtually, like this, a program, a presentation that will have a few videos, a few live music performances, some interactive trivia, and some raffle prizes, and then lastly, a silent auction. So I just wanted to share that with you. We're so excited that it's happening, and we hope that that everybody will take the spirit of this virtual experience and make the most of it. But we're so grateful for the sponsors and the individual ticket holders who have helped us bring that to fruition as well. And with that, I just wanted to again thank you for your time. Thank you for your support of this Access Nature project, among the biggest investments from a park improvement project in Watershed's history and the Nature Preserve Foundation's history. So thank you, and I'll take me and Megan and Jennifer will take any questions now. I'll stop sharing.
Okay. It's nice to get an update on the watershed. I know there's a lot of interest and questions about that in recent months. So.
Yeah, I'm happy to supply any background or this presentation, as well as any other information that this group would like to get beyond this presentation.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
This is Rich. It's Rich, Mark. Sheila, do you give us a little more about the current status and future work on is it called the Outdoor Learning Center? It's just outside of the building.
Right, so are you talking about the Shoreline Classroom part?
Shoreline Classroom, that's right. It has the big boulders. And
right.
It's to the, I think it'd be west of the building.
Right, let me pull this up again, and I can show you, oops. Okay, so let me go back to this one. So this is a bird's eye of the whole footprint, most of which is in the front of the Watershed Center, Watershed Nature Center when you arrive. So really it's an investment in that arrival experience. And right by the building, this is the building off to the left side of your screen. That whole section below it is the Shoreline Classroom. So that includes a gathering space for learners, as well as access to the water for things like dip netting, for things like water quality testing. So this is tremendous access that students of all ages, from little ones all the way up to grad students at SIUE and postdocs, can access the wetlands there at Watershed to do all sorts of experiential hands-on learning. So this is that part, and that's the part that the Rotary, I believe, has really put their name on and supported. That's going to be a huge, significant addition to the experiential learning that happens at the Watershed Nature Center.
Thanks. Well, I guess more specific, I was wondering, so you're anticipating this to be fully realized by spring?
Yes.
Okay.
So along those lines, another question we had come in about not only about the estimated completion date, but is all of the funding secured?
Yeah, so on the funding, let me go back to that one. So a large part of it is secured. That Nature Preserve Foundation line item of 108, that still includes some projections that we have for fundraising. So Whiskey for the Watershed is still super important for us. So in terms of additional tickets and paver sales, we'll have recognition pavers for the front of the building to replace that platform that's right there. So there's a few things within that 108 that we're projecting, but we're very confident that with our plans in place for that event, that we'll secure that. One note about the MEPRD line item, that's a reimbursement grant. So we got a grant from Metro East Parks and Recreation Department, And then that will be the amount that will be reimbursed to us. So when it's all put together, that's a snapshot of the funding plan and sources.
Cool, okay. There was a question about the getting tickets to the Whiskey on Watershed. Can we still get them? And Megan's answered, yes, they're still available. At what point do you anticipate stopping sales?
I believe we're putting a stop on sales on the 12th, I believe, which is the event's on the 16th. However, we're capped at 250 tickets, and we're getting close to that. I think, Megan, we're right now just over a little over 200.
Yeah, and we're selling tickets every day. So I'm not sure we're going to make it to October 12th, honestly.
Right. So whichever comes first, whether we sell out or whether we get to October 12th.
Okay, cool. Any other questions from anybody? All right, well, Sheila and Megan, I want to thank you very much on behalf of the Rotary for presenting and bringing us up to date on the watershed nature. I know there's been a lot of participation by Rotary through the years and a lot of interest in it. So it's a great asset for the community, and it's good to see it moving again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for the time today at your meeting.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Anything else that anybody would like to bring up or thoughts come across?
I have a quick thing I'd like to mention.
Sure, John.
So I mentioned this before, and I wasn't going to mention it, but I saw something that I'll share with you that made me raise my voice. So in line with what we've talked about already, the Edwardsville Art Center, the Watershed Nature Center, we have all of these amazing organizations here in town. And, we've talked about the Edwardsville Children's Museum over the last several weeks. Now, in the spirit of you can't have too much of a good thing, I was eliminated from the Dopest Dads competition last night, which is fine. My kids gave me a nice pat on the back and told me I am worthy of their love. So I'm good to go in that fashion. But we still have 2 Edwardsville Rotarians that are in the mix. So we have Dr. Ryan Cleland, and then we have Mr. Nate Tingley. So they are going to be in a competition now that's head-to-head. There are some individuals with some pretty deep pockets. This is going to get pretty intense. But I wanted to share something real quick. Let's see here. The Edwardsville Parks Department has gone ahead and put their manager in this predicament here, where just look at the guy, number one. Number two, if he wins this round, they will take him to a park and turn him into a Sunday, which, that's worth several hundred, if not $1,000 or $2 right there. So, if you haven't already, and even if you have, please go ahead and go to the Children's Museum website and support their cause, just for the simple fact of seeing a Rotarian covered in sweet goodness. So that's all I have to say with that.
John, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Right there, that would almost make you fine free for the rest of your Rotary life if we get pictures of you in a Sunday, but we'll see.
That's right. And this is just this round. That if I make it to the next one, I'll have to do something else bigger and better. So
right.
Humiliation, I'm not above it. If it raises money for the Edwardsville Children's Museum, it's all good.
It's funny. I was actually, if I made it to this round, I was going to eat the hottest pepper in the world on camera. Ooh. And I've done it before, and it's horrible, but I was just going to do it. But
you should have put that. I'd have voted for you just to see that.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. So.
Well, in the spirit of good Rotary members, it's good to see there's no sour grapes on your part here, and throwing your support to your fellow Rotarians. So.
Yeah, I got other things on my plate. Being a dope dad is good.
That's awesome. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Okay. Before we move to our breakout rooms, I want to remind everybody there's a board meeting tonight at Dan's house. Our next Rotary meeting next week program will be with Tim Wayman, and the invocation will be with Rick Martini. So Masanda, if you could unmute us, and we'll move us to the 4-way test, and then everybody is invited to join the different breakout rooms. for as long as you can. Okay, so if you would recite with me the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? I think I started before Masanda was able to get everybody unmuted. So, okay. Hope everybody has a great day. So look forward to seeing you all in person soon.